Okay, now in this video, since we are not be able to actually do the class this morning, so I'll be giving this video because I want to discuss the summary on chapter 4.3 and 4.4. Now 4.3 basically is about the normal distribution, alright, but then usually the question will ask you to find the probability. Now finding probability for normal distribution, you cannot use the normal straight away. You have to change to standard normal. But there are things that when you answer the question, especially in 4.3 homework exercise, you skip some steps that it's important for you to show. Okay, now let's go step by step. What is the important things? Okay, now first thing first, when you have a normal distribution, always write down your random variable. Your random variable can be any unknown, but usually we put it as x as 1. And the notation for random variable x having a normal with the parameter for normal is mu and sigma. But again, for written notation, you put variance. Okay, this particular part, the variance. And step 1, when you have the question, what you do is you have to write the question statement. Means question statement, what is the question asked? Okay, the probability notation. For example, if the question asks you probability of x, any random variable x is greater by certain number. For example, let's say 151.5. Let's say we talk about height. So write the probability notation for the question statement. And then step 2 is that you change from your normal to Z, which is your standard normal, because you want to find the area or the probability by using the standard score. Now let's revise a bit. Your standard score is x minus by mu over by sigma. So this is your standard score. Alright, so make sure you remember that. So let's say if this is a probability notation, so change to Z means that probability of Z greater by your x known 151.5 minus mu over by any sigma. So mu if you have the value, put the value, and the sigma also. Then step 3 is state the Z value clearly. Means that P Z would be greater by certain number. For after you calculate this, you're going to get certain value of Z naught. Then the fourth step is find the area and the probability. Now it's good that you sketch your curve, so you know whether it's going to be at the tail part or at the left part or right, or you have to minus out or something. Then using the table, you're going to get your probability. That's how you do step by step. Okay, from 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you must have this. Okay, now let's look at one example from your homework exercise. The review exercise number 5, chapter 4. Okay, now you are talking about the height of student. So x is the height of students, and it is normally distributed with the mean 168 and standard deviation 8. So x having a normal with 168 cm with a standard deviation 8, but again you put the variance 8 square. Now part A, one of these student is chosen at random. Okay, find the probability that the height of the student is less than 172. Again, now this is what I mean by the question statement, which is the height of the student is less than 172. From here, put in notation, you're going to get probability x, which is the height of a student, less than 172. So this is usually is statement, your question statement. Okay, write it down. And then the second step is you need to change to Z by using the standard score. So P Z less than 172 minus by mu is 168, sigma is 8. Okay, so this is standardizing usually. The word is standardizing. You use standard score to change from the X normal distribution to standard normal. Then find or state your Z value. After you calculate this, what is your Z value equivalent to? Your Z value equivalent to 0.5. Okay, so clearly state your Z value. Okay, and then find the area. So area is good, or is better that you sketch this curve so that you can imagine. So this is 0.5. Less than means that to your left. Less than. Now again, your Z value is 0.5, not your probability. Shaded region is probability, but Z value is the line that you have over here. This is your Z value, whether it's positive or negative. Okay, now from here, because you know in the table you will have the left tail, the right tail, the right part. So in the table, what you have is this particular dotted pink. So find from the table. So from the table, you get the tail part. Alright, so the tail part for 0.5, straight away you're going to get there 0.3085. So this is 0.3085. But your region is this shaded part. The shaded part. So what happened is that total area is equivalent to 1. So to find the shaded region is 1 minus by 0.3085, where you get your answer 0.6915. So this is how you do step by step. So if I'm going to give you mark, first thing first, I'm going to see if you got your statement. Now sometimes this one will be given mark, but sometimes it is not given. But the most crucial part is this part. Your standardizing. So this standardizing will give you M1, your method. Then your answer Z value usually A1. And when you know how to find this, usually M1. And this is A1. Okay, but somehow it depends on the question. Sometimes you're gonna get 4 marks, sometimes it can be 3 marks, but whatever it is, please write down your answer step by step so you don't lose marks. And it's easier for us to follow through what is your working. Are you clear with that? Now let's look at part B. Again, X the normal with 168 and 8. Okay, 8 square. So part B, given that 30%, what does it mean by this 30%? Think about it. Of all these students have height less than H. Alright, so your statement or what's the information given here is that 30% means also probability. So from 30% to change to probability, it will be 0.3. Okay. These students have height less than H. So unknown HCM means that the probability of the height of the student X, this is what we have just now, X, less than H is 0.3, 30%. Okay, so this is what I mean by question statement that you're gonna give in mark. So because you need to know to change the information or the statement into notation. Okay, this notation. Then find the value of H and correct to 1 decimal places. Again, the step is the same thing. First, probability notation, and then all the question statement. Sometimes I can see that. And then second thing is that standardize. Standardize is using z-score. Z-score. So P Z don't know your H minus mu known 168 and your sigma is 8 known. Equivalent to, okay, you don't have to put this. Equivalent to still 0.3. It doesn't change because you are talking about the probability over here. Probability. Then probability of Z less than. Did you know what is the value of Z? You don't know yet because you got the unknown H. So you can put any unknown. If I'm here, I'm going to put it Z naught. Equivalent to 0.3. Now over here, this is where the part I give you some notes where you have to know if you given the probability and you want to find the Z value, determine your Z naught, whether it's at positive or negative. Always look at your probability and your sign over here. Since your probability here is 0.3, which is much less than 0.5, and this is less than Z naught, certain Z naught, so that it cannot be more than 0, because covered if more than 0 for less than, you will have more than 0.5 the probability. So the logic or the rational part will be this part. This is 0.3 and this is gonna be Z naught. Means that certain Z naught, your Z naught will have a negative number. Alright, certain negative number. Then from here, find in the table. So to find from the table is you look at the closest to 0.3. So the closest to 0.3 is you're gonna get whether here or here. So find the difference. So if you find the difference, you will actually have the closest to 0.3015, where your Z value here is 0.52. Okay, put in your answer. So your Z naught is equivalent to, because you have a negative Z naught, so negative 0.52. Then calculate your H by substituting into the Z naught 0.52. So your H gonna get 163.8 cm. So that's how you answer and show you're working properly. So statement 1, and then this I'm going to give the mark for M1. Alright. Now finding the correct Z naught, you're going to get A1. And then finding this maybe M1 and this is A1. Again, it's all depends. Sometimes you're going to get 5, sometimes you're going to get 4 marks. But this is just a reference. What I mean is that you have to show your working step by step. Are you guys okay?